Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Okay, so some of you are here on the Book of Faith, and some of you are on Instagram. Getting all those digital worlds to collide, or actually to intertwine, because digital world, but they're still separate. All right, so almost ShabbatShalom. Hello, everyone. Yeah. So, it is all about relationship. Relationships in plural is included in relationship. It's all about relationship. And we'll get to that, of course. Welcome. If you're first time here, I'm iLan Azoulai, and I'm here to share with you what happens during the week, what happened throughout the week, how that can help us or give us a little different perspective on how we can be in a augmented perspective. Yeah? So I want to start with we are, just to mention, we are here this week is the portion of Truma. Truma, the Torah portion, Truma means in simple English donation. And the portion starts where God is tell the people to take Truma to bring to the Mishkan, to bring to the divine place. Now, in Hebrew, it's said, Vayomer Elohim daber el ha'am vayikhu li Truma, which means have them take a Truma, take a donation. So now, when somebody says take a donation, wants a donation, say, give me donation, right? We all know giving is one of the most, if not the most, exhilarating act, because the exhilarating feeling that comes after giving is there's no second to it. So we want to give. We're giving. But what happens when we give? What are we giving from? What are we giving from? I mean, the sages are calling the money damim, bloods, plural. Why? Because a person, how do you say it? Spills their blood to get money, to work. For the most part. Some are, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how they get the money. The money costs them their blood, quote unquote. So they call it damim. And so when somebody works, they give. It's exhilarating, because you worked for something and now you're giving. Some people are saying, no, I'm not going to give because I worked so much for this. Everybody has their own way of dealing with things. But when I give, I'm giving from what I received. I'm giving out of a gift that I received. So the act itself is taking. The act itself is, I'm giving, but I'm actually taking. When I give, it comes from receiving. So the action itself, the term itself, the concept is of taking. So when I give, I'm actually receiving back. So I received, I'm taking because I received. So it's an act of taking. Somebody gave you, okay, I'm receiving, but it's an act of taking, and now I'm giving back. So I'm giving back from my kishke, from the hard work that I've done. I'm giving, right? So what that talks about a relationship, it is my relationship. When I say it's all about relationship, it's not necessarily about the relationships that I have with other people. It's the relationship that I have between me, between I, to that person. My relationship to that relationship. What is my relationship to that? So there is a story of that is written in the Gemara about Don Yitzchak Abarbanel. Yitzchak Abarbanel. There is also a hospital in Israel under his name. He was a rabbi, and he was the Ministry of Finance of Spain, of King of Spain, before the Inquisition. And he was very high. Shabbat Shalom, Chuck. Wonderful to see you. So he was the Minister of Finance of the King of Spain before the Inquisition started. And he was managing everything, and he was doing a great job. But just like today, where there are persecution of Jews and whole history, at that time also, people were seeping into the ear of the king. Oh, he's cheating you. Look, he has all these houses. He has all these. He has all this finances, all this car, whatever. He has a lot of riches. Why don't you check on him? Because he's probably cheating you. He didn't listen in the beginning, but after a while, when people talk into your ear, they talk. Something sips in. So the king called the rabbi and told him, I want you to give me an account of all your personal assets, all your personal belongings, all your personal assets. And the rabbi said, oh, no problem, I can do it right now. And he took out a little book, and on the book it said tzedakah, which means that tithing or giving, or when you give to somebody who is in need. And he wrote down and he said, this is the number, and for this sake we'll say it was $50,000. This is all my personal asset. This is all what I own. And the king was very upset, and he threw the rabbi out. He's like, this guy is cheating me. I mean, I know only his house cost 200, so, and he gave an order to put him in jail right away until the trial. The king ate, and after a day he was relaxed and everything, and he was starting to think then, he was like, look, this rabbi served me for all these years, very smart rabbi, very honest been all these years. I'm sure that there is something here that is beyond what it seems to be, which usually is the case. It's always what we see on the surface is only the surface. We don't see the underlying situation. We don't see what brought a person to a certain state or being. When we look at other people and we look at their property or whatever it is, and we say, how come this person has that? How come this person has that and I don't have it? Or something to that effect. We're looking at their existence. We see the end result up to that point. We don't see what proceeded to that point. So he called the rabbi and he says, I asked you about it and you're just flat out lying to me, and all your possessions I already nationalized. Once they arrested the rabbi, the king gave an order to nationalize all the assets of the rabbi and everything, the house, everything that he had. So how can you lie to me when I know that your houses cost more? So the rabbi was smiling, and because he was confident in the truth, in God, he was confident in what he was doing. And he showed him, he says, this book are all my tithes. Everything I gave, everything I donated, everything I gave to this family, I helped this family, I gave this family. This is mine. This is my life. This, what I gave in here, is actually what I received. That is my reward, my life in the life to come, in the next life. This is the thing that will stand up for me. Nobody can take it, not even you. For example, everything else, the cars or the houses, you took it. It's not mine. If you would ask me what was the total amount of property and assets I'm using, then I'll give you a different number. But you ask, what is my personal assets? These are my personal assets, what I gave. When I give, I receive life. So when we give, we receive life. The king was like, beyond himself. I said, I never thought in that way. And of course, he reinstated him and gave him everything. That was just before the Inquisition. It was known that the king was married to Isabella. And Isabella was influenced by all her priests, all the priests that were in that yard, and one of them, Tarkevo, I was trying to remember his name, Tarkevo or Tartakove. He was actually the priest that was responsible for the beginning of the Inquisition. So they gave an order to get all the Jews out, and the king told the rabbi Barbanel, told, you can stay. He says, no, if I'm staying, then my people stay. If my people leave, I'm leaving. And then the king of Portugal heard that the rabbi is leaving, so he asked for the rabbi to come and be their minister of finance. And he said, I agree, as long as all the Jews can migrate to your country. And he said, agreed. So that's how the migration to Portugal then happened after Spain. And from there, all other disbursements of the Jewish people. The point is, when I give, I receive. I talked about this 2 weeks ago. Last week was a little. I didn't feel that. I wasn't, or maybe it was last week, the week before. Yeah, last Friday. I did last Sunday a talk. When we give, we're actually receiving. It's like the dynamo, that part on the bicycle that I showed a picture of, that that was on the bicycle in the old 70s and 80s, where the more you pedal, the more light you get. Right? So the more I give, the more I receive. And when I give, I receive life. So it is always first to remember that it is a relationship. It is my relationship to giving. It is my relationship to receiving. Am I a taker? Am I a giver? Where am I giving from? Am I giving only when I'm comfortable, or am I giving period? So this week that was past, it's a lot about changes and giving and receiving and recognizing the important part that we play in this cycle, in the cycle of life, that giving. And when we give, we're getting close to wholeness. What happens in your heart when you give? That's the benchmark. So thank you for being here, and Shabbat Shalom. Have fun. Finally, we have nice weather again. Yes. Shabbat Shalom.